Hello, boys and ghouls. Welcome to a special episode of Dads from the Crypt. My name is Jason. Today, I'm getting the word out about an upcoming event called Tales from the Crypt, Theater of Mystery. Joining me to talk about it is the producer and director of the event, Ben Dicko. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
So this event is happening very soon, Monday the 23rd at 7:30 at the Dynasty Typewriter Theater in Los Angeles.
Yep.
Just to get the basics up front, but please tell me about the event.
Oh man. So this is our annual Halloween show, Tales from the Crypt Halloween show. So it kind of came together last minute. We've had a regular gig at a theater in LA for, gosh, let's say 8 years or something like that. And they're doing some fundraising, so we couldn't get in there. We're looking around for a spot because obviously Halloween is a bunch of EC Tales from the Crypt fans is our favorite holiday. Um, and then we were able to do this like super amazing last minute pop-up show at Dynasty Typewriter. And it's so the Capture Royal Fantasy Theater is the theater company. That's my company, and we put on all kinds of stuff. Our stock and trade is we take old comics, mostly pre-code, and turn them into multimedia shows. We project the art, we perform the dialogue as an old radio show. We have live sound effects, live music, some little effects on stage, and things like that. And then we usually string together about 3 or 4 different stories in an evening, and in between we've got we've got songstress, we've got some little bits that we do. We interpret ads from comics and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah. I will say that's one of my favorite things about reading the old EC comics is seeing the ads.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're the unheralded because nobody ever puts the ads in any of the compilations or anything like that.
I love
Anyway,
that.
so we do that for all kinds of comics for all kinds of themes, but Tales from the Crypt is Tales from the Crypt. Actually, EC stories are the exclusive rights to perform the entire EC catalog live on stage, which is super fun. And so yeah, we've done. Obviously, horror is a big mainstay, but we've done weird science and science fiction stories. We've taken things from some of the Love comics and stuff like that.
That's awesome. Can you share any of the specific comics you're going to be doing? Or at least maybe give us a teaser.
Sure.
You don't have to give
Yeah,
away the whole thing.
I won't give away the whole thing, but we are Midnight Mess is a big. It's a good one. One of the things that we try to do in these is really pull out the unintended and sometimes intended comedy that's in the EC stories.
Yes.
One of the beauties of EC is that yeah, these are historic, horrific, gory stories, but they are hilarious, and we really try to pull that out. So Midnight Mass has got some gems of comedy, in addition to draining somebody of their blood.
Yeah, well, it's very interesting because a lot of these are even unintentionally funny in hindsight. Given 50 or so years or whatever of context.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like one of my favorites is Lower Birth, where they're able to find a blind priest in the middle of the night to marry a mummy, and
exactly.
I'm like, wow, what a time to be alive when that was if that was a thing.
I know. I mean, EC was super progressive too, as far as like Gucci comics and stuff, and serious about it. But also, these were a bunch of guys, 70 years ago now, and so the way that they write women is not cool, but also hilarious if you do it the right way. So I mean, so our motto at Captured Oral Fantasy Theater is to give old comics a modern voice.
Sorry, I had my own sound effect.
It's good. So anyway, so we try to give old comics a modern voice, and so we really try to underline like these are historic pieces, and this is what the world was like 70 years ago. And at the same time, these stories are super timeless. I mean, you've got an entire podcast empire devoted to these things that were written 7 years ago. So I think, yeah, I mean, that content is so rich to mine. It's a lot of fun.
And especially middle of spooky season, the height of spooky season is the perfect time to get out. It's funny because I live in LA as well, and I've never been a big theater person, but apparently that's where it is for horror. Because I went to the Exorcist musical a
Oh
couple of
yeah.
years ago, and I had a huge blast with that. So I guess that's the thing now.
Yeah, actually, it's funny. I mean, LA is like the greatest theater, or the greatest, sorry, not greatest theater. It is a great theater town. But LA is the greatest Halloween town, I think,
Yeah.
in the world, right? You've got, special effects people and people are interested. I mean, it's just an amazing place. We have a, 365-day-a-year Halloween town store in Burbank. Like, there's no
Hmm.
other place like that. And so I feel like the beauty of being in LA during this time of year is that you get horror in all kinds of different ways, right? There's theater stuff, there's the home haunts. People go all out and like
Yeah.
completely go crazy with their yards, and yeah, it's an amazing place to be. We participate a lot in Midsummer Scream, which is
Hmm.
become, I think, the largest horror convention in the country. Um, and there's that whole thread in Midsummer Scream, which is all horror theater. It's amazing.
Were you at Seasons Screamings last year, or you just do the main
Yeah,
one in the
the
summer?
December one, right? Yeah, we
Yeah.
did season screamings. Um, we've been doing Midsummer Scream since the beginning. We had to skip this past August because, uh, well, Comic Con was the week. It's usually Comic Con's the week before, and we were down at Comic Con for that weekend previously doing two panels and shows, and could not fit in Midsummer into this year. But yeah, we're at season screenings. Uh, there was the Cemetery Lane that the same group does, which is like
Yeah.
a
Okay.
trick or treat event. Uh, yeah, we try to get around.
That's awesome. Now, yeah, you've done events at Comic Con for the last couple of years, and that's why you first kind of popped
Mhm.
up on my radar with your William Gaines performance. Can you tell me about that.
Ah, well, thank you for asking. This has been a project that's been in my head for 20 plus years or something like that. This is a full on Broadway style musical called Tales from the Comic Book Crackdown. And it tells the story of EC and Bill Gaines and the comic book controversy of 1954. It takes place from about the fall of 53 through the summer of 54, uh, you know, dramatizing his backstory and what led up to April 21st, um, with a lot of music and a lot of singing and a lot of dancing. Um, we're really fortunate to be able to work with Gaines's family to,
Hmm.
to kind of bring this thing to life. Um, and I feel like I have to say, like when I first started working on this 20 plus years ago, it was really because I came across the transcripts of the Senate hearings, and realized like, oh my God, this is the just all we have to do is like read this. It's so totally ridiculous.
Right.
And then they, specifically call out stories in it, and then we just kind of jump out of the transcript and do a story, and then we jump back in and all that stuff. And so we've done tons of iterations of this as a straight show. Um, but I think to really get the flavor of the sort of insanity and creativity of what was going on in EC at that time, and how the hammer came down swiftly, um, some sort of a full blown musical is the only way to do
It makes in its own way, and in the EC way, it makes total sense.
it. Right, exactly. Yes, exactly. Um,
Okay.
it's funny. An inspiration for me. I can't remember I can't remember the title, but the cover with the arm that's hanging from in the subway. The arm that's hanging in the
Mhm.
subway. Um, that to me is such a hilarious image. That was the inspiration for the musical stuff, because it's just like, if you can be that insane and funny at the same time, yeah, Broadway musical, why not?
Yeah, I mean, what's funny is I was just going through my regular Halloween watching rotation. I was watching
Yeah,
Evil Dead 2 the other day,
yeah.
and I was watching, and then I always like to watch the making of features
Oh,
afterwards.
cool. Yeah, yeah.
So and basically, I came to the realization that they were kind of remaking Evil Dead 1, but they didn't want to do a straight remake. So what do? You add in Three Stooges.
Exactly. Yes, exactly.
That's the only way you can go with that.
Well, I want to give away too much from the musical, but we do the three Galunatics play an
Mm,
important role of pushing the story along, and they they have a whole other persona in the show. So
That's awesome. Yeah, the
yeah,
the real pride and
yeah.
joy of the EC Comics. Um, now, when will I have a chance to see this? When's the next
Oh,
performance?
so all right, we are shooting for a spring spring debut. Well, yeah, a spring sort of version of it. And we want to do it as a sort of as a workshop reading kind of a thing. So
Hmm.
full band, we'll do the music and all that stuff, but we're going to have to do blocking and sets and everything.
Yeah.
And the idea that we want to get that out there in the spring because April 21st, 2024 is the 70th anniversary of that Senate.
Oh, there you
So
go.
we really want to make a big deal about it next year. We really want to make a big deal about it. It's Comic-Con in the
Mhm.
summertime. I mean, honestly, with all of the crazy book banning stuff that's happening all around the
Yes.
country, there's no better time to tell this story and to get it out
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, that, I've always. I'd say it would take me something very big to get me to go to Comic Con. It just seems like such a circus.
there.
So
It is. But you
that
were there?
no, I've
When
never
you,
been. I'm saying that I'm just too
oh,
like I
oh
don't
my
want to deal
God.
with all that. That's too much humanity in one place.
Yes.
Pushing their way through. So it's very interesting you talk about that because people have been one, as someone who's talks a lot about Tales from the Crypt, people keep asking
Hmm.
him, "Oh, what would you do, or what do
Hmm.
you want a remake of the show?" And I'm like, I don't think I'd want a straight remake. I've mentioned
No,
this many times. I don't think you can quite capture what was captured in '89, early
absolutely.
'90s.
Hmm.
What I want is Mad Men
Yes.
set in EC Comics.
Yes. I agree. And I think that, I feel like, I mean, listen, we both seem to be very creative people. I can't imagine that we are the only ones who've thought about that before.
Yeah.
Um, but I think, one of the things that, so putting the musical together, I think one of the things that really struck me is what was happening in the office at the time.
Hmm.
And we do spend some time, right? It wasn't, I mean, Bill was a larger than life figure, totally the star, put himself out there. Maybe who knows why he did it, put himself out there and became the punching bag for an entire industry. But all those all those talents that were in that room
Oh
or in
yeah.
that office, they all have crazy stories themselves. The atmosphere there. I mean, who doesn't want to work in a place that's like lightning in a bottle for
Hmm.
4 or 5 years? It's just such a crazy place. So I agree. I think the Madman approach would be awesome. I also feel like moving back and forth between um, uh, kind of like what we do in our
Hmm.
shows is kind of, have some historic stuff or have something
Yes.
that's sort of straight, and then you pull out and you do a story that's related to whatever's
Yeah.
going on.
So I mean, like, yeah, the way I would envision it is like three timelines where you
Yeah,
have
yeah,
the starting of EC Comics, the trial, and then flash to the '90s
yeah,
or
yeah. Of
'89
course,
when they're
of course.
starting the TV show because those are
Sure,
all three like the main through lines
sure,
of how they
sure.
influence each other.
If and I know you're the interviewer, but I want to ask you a question.
Yeah, sure.
Now, did you come at this through the TV show, or were you a fan of the comics? And then,
Yeah, no, I definitely was more of I would say more of a fan, but that was my entry into it.
yeah.
Well, as definitely the podcast is more dedicated to the TV show, but as we watch an episode, we look at the comic and see how they compare.
Oh, nice, nice.
So that's a big that was from the very beginning. I wanted to incorporate the source and see
Mhm.
like how much did this because there's many episodes where it has nothing to do with anything other than the title.
Right,
Like,
exactly.
oh, there's a mummy, or there's a guy that
Right,
get killed with a roller skate, whatever.
right.
Especially later in the show where they kind of really went away from a lot. But the mandate was they had to use the titles. And it's funny because sometimes we're like, we wish we would get like a straight retelling of the comic. And obviously, for whatever reason at the time they did what they did. But yeah, we definitely are very reverent to the comics, and we've had a lot of comic creators, and we've talked to Mike Fosberg, who did
Oh,
the comics that were created for the shows, and actually he did like
oh
a
yeah.
picture right behind me
Oh,
um,
no way.
for
Oh, cool.
us in the same style with like we send them reference pictures of us. So that's a huge honor, and I
Yeah,
got to
of
go to his
course.
house and see a bunch of his art, and
Wow.
just to plug ourselves, which I guess if you're listening, you're already more aware of us, but we've been posting the art that he's been doing, like never before seen, like concept arts and things.
Oh,
And we have some
that's
more big stuff coming up.
awesome.
But yeah, we're here to talk about you. So
Yeah, no, I get it. I'm always interested, especially other fans. I am a dad, so I guess I'm a
oh,
dad from the crypt too.
okay.
So,
Yeah, definitely, we'll have to have you on to talk more in depth. It's just more just this event came together so quickly.
sure, yeah,
I was just like, okay, I want to get the word out. What can I do? And this is like the best thing that we could come up with for now.
I really appreciate it.
But no, it sounds like a really fun event. I'm going to be there, and then actually, I got new stickers. We got Sticker Mule
Ah,
had like I'm sure everyone's getting sticker. I don't know if anyone else gets Sticker Mule ads on YouTube all the time, but they now have like holographic, like sparkly ones. So like,
whoa,
yeah, they got me on some specials. I ordered a bunch of new stickers.
nice,
So if you come to the event, you want a sticker that's nice and sparkly, I'll be there. I'm really looking forward to it. It should be a good
thank you.
time. Get really, that's like T minus 8 days before Halloween, so we're
Yeah,
like in the thick of it.
it's a great way to start your. I mean, if you're a real Halloween fan, you started back in probably what
Well,
December of last year,
yeah, never
but
ends. It's
exactly,
year
it's
round.
cyclical. But no, it's a great way to really start the final countdown. And I just want to just want to clarify too, like the whole the Tales from the Comic Book Crackdown musical thing. That's a separate. You're not going to see too much of that on Monday. Monday was just straight ahead Halloween bread and butter stuff. We will be premiering a brand new or a story that we've never done before. Basically, that's what I'm
Mm.
saying. So three of the stories we've done for years. We mix it up and stuff like that. Every year we try to do something different, but this year we're really excited to bring. Um, it's called Married. It's a completely insane story. Couple.
Wait, so this is new to your show or
New
new?
to our store.
Okay,
No, sorry, new to our show. Sorry, store. What am I talking about? New to our show. An old. I think this is published August 1954.
okay, cool. And again, it's this Monday, the 23rd. So
Mm-hmm.
does the show start at 7:30, or is that the doors open?
Show starts at 7:30. Doors open at 6:30. Dynasty Typewriter. This is our actually first time we've performed in this space. It's an awesome, beautiful space, and really sort of like the hipster comedy capital of LA right now.
Yeah, I was looking at
Which
their website a little bit earlier. It looks interesting.
yeah, yeah. But they've got like you can get beers, you can get whatever before the show, and then hang out, see the show. We'll be about a little over probably like an hour and 15 or something.
Cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
I just have to decide which of my AC Comics shirts I want to wear. Because shout out to Fright Rags for those great T-shirts. I
Oh,
can't get enough of them.
oh my God, absolutely, absolutely. No, I've got a collection myself.
Yeah. All right. Well, I encourage everyone to go check out this event. Again, we're only doing this a few days before the event, but
Mhm.
tell us your socials so people can keep track of your other upcoming events.
So it's Capt LA, so at Capt LA, CAPTLA. Or you can find Tales from the Crackdown or Tales from the Comic Book Crackdown on Instagram and Twitter and stuff like that too. But really, just if you follow at Capt LA, you'll get connected to all the stuff for this show and then other shows in the future. I have to say, we've been performing together for a long time, like 15 years,
Wow.
and so the group has gone through these changes. Like a lot of us are parents now and stuff like that, so we don't perform as often as we would like. So if you come to the show, it's like finding a rare bird out there. Um, we also, though, that means that we don't always keep up with our social media as much. But we plan to change that because it looks like we will be doing a December Christmas Tales from the Crypt show. So keep that in
Ooh.
mind.
Okay.
And then, of course, in the springtime, really sort of making a big push in 2024 for commemorating the Senate hearings and then musical.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, like I said, I'll be there. Maybe I'll see a couple of our listeners there. Come say hi. And with that, we thank you for listening to Dads from the Crypt.
Follow Dads from the Crypt on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, or I will follow you to the grave. No, seriously, you really should watch. But be careful what you ask for. You may get it.